Name next, I want you to start chapping. So this is a new fusion form of audience expression. We're doing it the quick way, no clapping and cheering at the same time, maximum enthusiasm, so that you can welcome into the stage and get the energy high. We all good with that? Yeah. Excellent. Then without further ado, let me bring to the stage the incredible Nick Hill.
Oh dear God. Let me just take this in. I'm so glad I decided to wear black tonight. I've got a bit, I'm not really sure what this is. Do you feel like, have we all just been tempted in? But I need to tell you what, I've come from England tonight, and I thought I'm glad I've worn black. Because once you've realised I'm English, I am half Welsh, by the way. I should just point that out. My mother was born in Swansea. But I'm thinking, there's some really brilliant, strong Welsh accents here. And you just want to probably slit my throat, don't you, Martha? Yeah. Oh, that's harsh, isn't it? It's not my fault Warren Gatland is shit, is it? No, come on. Is it Ireland Saturday? I think.
Yeah.
Ireland. Do you know? Yeah. I've got a feeling. Finn, what do you reckon? Do you reckon they can do it Saturday?
No.
Hey?
No, we got it.
No, I don't think so.
Are you a rugby playing boy?
No, I don't play. No sports. Just
You're in the army and you don't play sports?
No, we don't do sports and basic training. It's just like physical stuff, so cardio and all that.
I've got to be honest, when you come in, I thought, Christ, he's a looker. I've never. I'm not, but he's a good looking boy, isn't he? I bet you're popular in your regiment. I would never have had you down as being in the That's brilliant, mate. And are you worried about potentially going off to war? Does that?
We are.
You are? Well, you're not going to be going, are you? You'll be.
Yeah, when it's sick.
So is this your grandson?
Yeah.
He's got to do what he's got to do, the one day.
Good boy,
Good looking boy. Do you spoil him by any chance? Rotten.
my only grandchild.
Oh, bless him. That's great. And I've got to be honest, Finn. You've done well, haven't you? Because you've obviously volunteered to go and do it. And I don't do a lot of political stuff, but when I saw the Tory manifesto last year, the general election, about what we want to do is bring back conscription. I bet you've got mates, you look at them and think, no way do I have them alongside me. Can you imagine that? And when that came out, well, I thought the Tories have committed political suicide here, because at the time there's 718,000 under 18s, or not under 18s, 18-year-olds who were eligible to vote. And I thought, well, they've just alienated 718,000 voters straight away, because those kids aren't going to vote for the Tories. And I thought, actually, this is quite a clever plan, because what they want to do is, they were targeting the likes of me, you, yourself, Rog, because we would have voted the Tories in, if only for them to bring in that conscription, just to see the smug smiles wiped off all your mates' faces when they realise they're going to have to go off to war. But it would never have happened, would it? It was very ridiculous, because we live in such a politically correct society. All that would have happened on day one of conscription, all your mates would have turned up at the bloody army office, and the sergeant major would have been there signing them all in, and they would have just gone, I'm not doing that because I don't identify as a soldier. And it would have been an easy cop-out, wouldn't it? So this is quite possibly the most bizarre gig I've ever done in 20 odd years of doing comedy. And my wife she said, are you really going all the way to Swansea tonight? Yeah, it'll be great. And she's going to give me so much shit when I go back home and tell her.
Is it worth it?
That's it, yeah, but yes, she will. And because she's from, originally she's from Bridgend, so she's quite tight with money. But she will, she'll say, was it worth it for 4 people? And honestly, do you know what? I just love doing this. Because I've never met you before. I've come down tonight, I've never met you before. So it's, yes. And I'll be able to go back and tell her, yeah, there was only 4 people. It did feel a bit like a mental health bloody conference, with even the MC admitting he's got ADHD. And at one point I was getting a bit worried about him.
What am I getting to?
Yeah, I know, and I thought, and he's kitted it all out in black.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Welsh people, 1 England. I thought he's just going to. There's an altar behind it. I'm never going to see Gloucester again. But no, this is great, and I know a lot of acts come on and they'll start with, "Oh, it's nice to be here in wherever," and I've got to be honest, I don't do that. Not because it.
I don't blame you.
No, not because it isn't nice to be here.
It's very poorly with rain.
It's all right. It's okay. But what it was, sort of last year I did a gig in quite a posh little village in the Cotswolds near Cirencester. And I just went on and I said, "Oh hi, my name's Nick Hill, I'm from Gloucester," and that's as far as I got. And straight away there was people on their phones texting the babysitters, make sure the door's locked. So I thought, well, that's a bit bloody harsh, isn't it? So, "Hi, my name's Nick Hill, I'm from Gloucester, it's lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes." And this woman stood up and said, "Oh, excuse me, I know it's spelled Keynes, Keynes, but here in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Keynes. Is that okay?" Well, that's absolutely fine. Does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious cunt. That's spelled C-A-N-T, but in my village, I've not been asked back. So I have come down from Gloucester, which lovely 2-hour drive, and another 2-hour drive to get home. Has anybody been to Gloucester? No. Do you know anything about Gloucester? Do you know what? I'm surprised none of you have mentioned Fred West, the home of the.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's where. Well, he don't live there now.
That's where he's from, is it?
That's where he's from.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we've got that, but also.
That's why we don't mention it then.
Well, you didn't know it anyway, did you? But we've got an annual event, and I don't know if you've heard of this, called the Cheese Roll. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of the Cheese Roll?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, just to explain, it's basically an annual event where a bunch of poor people stand at the top of a very steep hill, cheese is rolled down, they chase the cheese, whoever gets the bottom first wins it, right? Well, I've lived in Gloucester all my life, never done the cheese roll, but I thought this year, in my 67th year, I'm going to do the cheese roll. Right? So I've been training really hard, been rolling a baby bell down my drive, that's been going great. And the cheese roll was banned for a couple of years for health and safety reasons. And when it was reintroduced, BBC Southwest came up to film it. And one of the winners of one of the events was a 15-year-old girl from quite a rough part of Gloucester called Kylie. And they interviewed her and they said, "Kylie, you've entered the race and you've won. What would you like to say?" She said, "Well, yeah, I did enter the race and I have won, and I'm very surprised." And they said, "Why are you surprised, Kylie?" And I thought, "Oh, Kylie, just say something really profound, say something that's going to put you on the map and put Gloucester on the map. Just say something like, well, I'm 15 now, I left school at 13, no qualifications, everyone wrote me off, my teachers, my friends, my family. I've already got 6 kids by 8 different dads." And I thought, do you know what, Kylie, now is your chance to shine, and I trained really hard for this. Wind, snow, rain, didn't matter, I was out there training, and I got to the top of that hill and I looked down and I could see my friends, families, teachers down the bottom, they were all laughing. I thought, we won't be laughing in a minute. And when they let that cheese go, I was just so focused, I blotted everything out. And I threw myself down that hill. I could have broken my legs, my arms, my neck, I didn't care. I just wanted to prove to somebody that I was worth it, that I am a special individual. And when I got to the bottom, I thought, yes, that's what I wanted her to say. What came out of Kylie's mouth to the question, why were you surprised, was simply this. I don't even like cheese. I mean, you can't make it up, can you? Bless her. But I have been doing stand-up for, God, 20 odd years, and I probably had my best year in 2023, I think it was. I went to the Leicester Comedy Festival, and I entered a competition called the Silver Stand-Up, which was a competition specifically aimed at those over 55. I did my heat, got through that, got through to the final, and there was about 10 other acts there, all over 55. I've got to be honest, it did look a bit like God's waiting room for comedians. One act, when they called his name, we looked over and he was in a chair. He eyes closed, slumped in his chair. And, Jesus, is he asleep or dead? So we said, do you think we should wake him? Said, no, just leave it, because it'll increase our chances. Anyway, I went on, did my 5 minutes, and I won. And I phoned my wife, I said, you'll never guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, well, that's fantastic. Like, what have you won? Because she is from Bridgend. I said, I've won a trophy. All right. Was there anything else? No, it's just this trophy. So I'm back home 2 hours later, and I'm showing her the trophy. She said, well, that's lovely, but I'll ask you again, was there anything else? No, it's just that. Because they've been on the website, and I'm thinking, oh, shit, have you? What about the £500 cash prize they were advertising? I was gutted, right? Because I had that lined up for something special. And she said, what have I told you all through our marriage? I don't know, there's been so many things it's hard to remember, to be honest. She said, never lie. And she's right, you shouldn't lie in a marriage. But like, she went away last year on a cruise for a week, and she phoned me on the Wednesday. You alright? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Are you missing me? I remember what she said. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, she started clutching at straws. Well, I bet the dog's missing me. He wasn't, right? He was sleeping on my bed. I was feeding him from the table. We were down the pub every night. We went and got tattoos. Well, I did. And I've got to be honest, it was the best week we'd had. Best week we'd had in 28 years.
Oh, dear God.
But she's not a happy woman in general. Like, it was her birthday. Today, got her a spa day. That was wrong. Apparently she hates grocery shopping. We did dry January. Still drank, just no sex. We did celebrate Valentine's Day, and I did the romantic thing. I phoned the florist. Said I'd like to order some flowers for my wife. She said, no problem. Would you like a card? I said, yes, please. So what do you want on the card? I said, I'll just put to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? I went, brilliant. I could probably be there in 15 minutes. She went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yeah, no, I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she said, I bet you don't get many gigs, which is a little bit harsh, isn't it? But we did celebrate Valentine's Day. We celebrated at home, because we're pensioners now and tight. And so, can you remember how we met? Yeah, vaguely. It was quite a long time ago. She said, well, I'll remind you, you had an advert in the Lonely Arts column. Actually, you had 2, but I only applied to 1. Did you? I didn't know that. Why was that? So, well, in the second one, you put your height, right? I didn't know she had an issue with my height. I should have realised, because about a week after we got together, I just said to her, do you fancy going to Alton Towers for the day on Saturday? And she just looked at me and said, really? £32, 2 rides at best? And then when we were married, I came home one day, and she was working in a school at the time. And we just sat down having dinner. She said, how tall are you again? Sorry? She said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 5'2". No, in inches. I said, 62 inches. Yeah, I thought so. Why? Oh, nothing. I said, no, come on, what is it? Just something we were doing at school today. What's that? She said, well, do
do you realise you're only 8 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? That's harsh, isn't it? I wouldn't have minded, but I used to go and have coffee with her, and I went in the following week, and one of her friends said, oh, Lynn's just on the phone, go and help yourself to a coffee. I said, oh, thank you. He said, if you want a biscuit, pick up a penguin, right? They all bloody knew. But we have been married, I think it was, when did we get married? 2000, yeah, so it's all silver. Yeah, silver this year, is it? Yeah. And we were just chatting the other week, and she said, there's no romance in our relationship anymore. So, well, there is. Well, she said, the thing is, like, maybe when we're being intimate on those rare occasions, it'd be nice to have some music playing in the background, just to break the silence. I thought, okay. So we were getting down to it, and I put on the first song, Make It With You by Bread. You'll remember that. Finn, you won't have a clue, but Rod, you probably remember that. 1973-ish. That was fine. I've got to be honest, I think where I made my mistake was the choice of song number 2, the theme for Match of the Day. But it was just for the rhythm factor. And then she said, there's no surprises in our relationship anymore. And again, you know, I care about her, so I took that on board. And the other night, she was in the bathroom getting ready. I went to the bedroom, turned the lights off, lit a candle, hid under the bed, and when she came in, I just grabbed her ankles. And apparently that wasn't the surprise.
No, what makes that?
But she did surprise me just before Christmas. She said, you have remembered you picking me up from my work stool tomorrow. Right? That came as a complete surprise, because she now worked part-time self-employed from home. I said, oh, that's fine, whatever. So I got to the place at the right time, she gets into the car. All I said was, have you had a nice time? Are you saying I'm drunk? Oh, no, don't start, but clearly you've had 1 or 2. The thing is, I don't think you've loved me, I don't think you've ever loved me. I said, well, I do, I have. Obviously, no guarantees going forward. So, well, if you love me like you say, you can prove it. Well, how am I going to do that? She said, you can get on top of me in this car right now and make love to me. I said, that is not going to happen. So give me one good reason. I said, I'll give you 3. She said, go on then. I said, right, number 1, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 2, we're still outside Wetherspoons in the middle of Gloucester. And number 3, we've got your girlfriend Chris in the back of the car because we're giving her a lift home, right? And that was the thing. She's got a girlfriend. That cruise she went away on with a week, she went with Chris. I didn't moan, I didn't say a word. I wanted 2 nights away with my girlfriend to spend that £500. So I did retire in 2023, and are you retired? Yeah. How did you find it? Was it? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is when you first. Okay, I'm a lot older than you, so it is when you first retire. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
It is strange because when we were both working, to be honest, we didn't really see much of each other in the week.
I know.
And now for the past 2 years, it's been like 24/7.
Yeah.
And we've just got to a stage where
I know, it's been my husband.
we want to kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to like an irritating stage. And I've got to be honest, it's nothing major. The breathing. And if we're out for the day, we'll be in the car and we'll come up to a junction. And if I want to turn right, I'll say to her, is it safe to go? She'll go, yeah. And as I'm pulling out, as long as you're quick, it's just... it's been 2 years of a voyage of discovery, because I've realised she's missed a true vocation in life. Like, she could have had a career in musical theatre. Because over the past 2 years, I've realised she can make a song and dance about anything. But we've, it has been strange retiring, and I found it a lot more time sort of focusing on trying to live longer, and I know she's keen for me to live longer, and I know she's worried about the weight. And I know this because I overheard her say something last year. She'd had the girls round for book club. That's a very loose description. Girls that they're in their 60s and 70s and book club. They don't talk about books. They just drink my red wine basically, just bitch about the people who aren't at book club. But I overheard her say to one of her friends, "Oh, I'm really worried about Nick. Like, his body disgusts me. He's like an egg on legs." And I thought, at least let me leave the room before you say so. And so I joined Slimming World. Has anybody ever been to Slimming World? Anybody?
No.
What? I'll tell you what, I've been doing stand-up for years. I'd sooner do the hardest gig in stand-up than bloody Slimming World. Because I didn't really know what to expect. And I went in, and there was another lady there, and she said, "Well, you knew?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, me." And I said, is your name Nick?" "Yeah, why?" And then she said, "Those 6 words that no bloke ever wants to hear. You don't remember me, do you?" And I'm looking at her thinking, "Oh God, no, I haven't, have I?" And I started, my stupid male egotistical brain starts trawling through all the one-night stands I'd ever had, which took me about 2 seconds. And then she rescued me. She said, "You used to work in recruitment. Back in the 80s, I was one of your temps. You haven't changed." And I'm looking at her thinking, back in the 80s, I was 8 stone 6. I am now carrying the equivalent of 32 bags of sugar. So not only do you clearly need to be at Weight Watchers, after this I'm going to book you an appointment at Specsavers. This lady came over and said, "Well, my name's Chris, I'm your counsellor." "I don't need counselling, I just need to stop eating." So what we're going to do is, the first thing is we're going to weigh you. And I thought you'd be weighed like behind a screen or something like that. So go and join those 2 lines of people. And there's these, and it was predominantly ladies in this Weight Watching group. And there's these ladies queuing up to be weighed on scales that were being manned by 2 smug stick insects wearing badges like Super Slinger and "I've lost 3 pounds this week." So I joined this queue, and this lady in front of me, her shoulders were going up and down, and I could hear her sobbing. I said, "Are you alright?" She said, I've tried really hard this week." And I'm looking at her thinking, "I don't think you have." So what have you done? She said, "I've walked right to the top of Robinswood Hill," which is a beauty spot in Gloucester. I said, "That's brilliant." She said, "I've come all the way back down." "Well, of course you have, otherwise you wouldn't be here." I said, "That's really good. But at the bottom there's a chip shop," and she was absolutely gutted. And we went and get weighed, and they shout your weight out. They shout it out, and I'm slinking back to Chris. He said, "Right, you've been weighed, so what we're going to do now is just a little bit of a question and answer session." He said, "Have a seat." Now, this was a local primary school. I looked down, and these tiny plastic chairs, I thought, this ain't going to end well. So I chose not to sit down. And Chris said, "I'm going to ask you a question, so I'll ask you first, Nick. And just say the first thing that comes into your head. Doesn't matter what it is, no one's going to judge you. Just say the first thing that comes into your head." So the question is, out of anybody in the world, anybody at all, whose body do you most admire? And I don't know where it came from. I just said, Tom Daly. And I'll tell you what, they do judge at Slimming World, so I've not been back. But the other thing my wife's been going on at me about getting older is you're getting a lot, you are getting so grumpy, so irritable. And I don't mind sharing this with you, but I have got issues. But let's call them by their proper name, shall we? Children and stepchildren. I've got three girls, 29, 42 and 43. You think by now I remember their names, but one's mine, and then I've got 2 step-kids. But to be fair, they all get treated exactly the same, with utter contempt. And it kicked off at Christmas, because we ran the dinner table and everybody was round. And we were just talking about, or I was talking about a programme I'd seen, David Attenborough programme about climate change, and I've said it's terrible because the ice caps are melting, the Antarctic's melting, and of course that's going to affect the Eskimos. Wrong thing to say. You can't use the word Eskimos. That is so discriminatory, they're Inuits. Alright, okay, listen, it's just a word I've grown up with. I don't mean any offence by it. The thing is, you've used that word because you have never been discriminated against. Right, hang on a minute. I said, let me tell you this. I said, I applied for a gig in Bristol last year. It said acts wanted, particularly those of LGBT or POC persuasion. And I phoned up, so I'm interested in the gig. It said, are you LGBT? I said, no. It said, are you POC? So I've got to be honest, I didn't really know what that meant. They said, a person of colour. I said, yes, I am. So they said, what colour are you? I said, ginger. And they just put the phone down. Which was... But I'll just tell you this before I go. I did suffer as a kid. Are you all right? You've got a bad cough.
No, my check.
Are you still smoking?
No, I don't smoke.
Good. I did suffer as a kid with the name calling. Copper knob, ginger nut, Duracell, you little ginger wanker. And I can remember saying, Dad, just leave it out.
I know, I got a son of a ginger name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you take the mick out of him?
No, I didn't.
No. And I was thinking of my dad the other day because I was watching something on YouTube. I still had World of Sport as a kid, you won't know this. But when we were young, back in the 60s and 70s, there was World of Sport on ITV. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
And about 4 o'clock they used to have wrestling on. Roger, can you remember the wrestling? Proper wrestling. And afterwards, me and Dad used to have a pretend wrestle. And I'd try and pin his shoulders down for the count of 3. And at the last minute, he always used to pop one of his shoulders up. And I think, in a way, what he was trying to teach me was that no matter how hard life is, no matter what challenges you face, if you persevere, when you do achieve something, you'll feel brilliant. And he was right. So I can remember the day I finally managed to pin his shoulders down for the count of 3. I've got to be honest, it was probably one of the best days in my life. To be fair, he was 88. In a care home, suffering with brittle bone disease. But I thought, a win's a win. There is another bit I could tell you, but I think that's my time. So I'm going to go back to Gloucester now, and this gig's going to stay in my memory. But honestly, it's been lovely. Honestly, it's been lovely, and yeah, it's been genuinely great. So thank you very much for listening. Best of luck.